Hey guys, I'm going to load some real data in our database. I don't know if you remember, but we just have these fake groups. But now I'm going to get the real content here and maybe start styling this. Okay, let me create a JavaScript file here, like load groups. Yep. And then I can just have a function here. I always try to have the same name as the file. Then it's easier to find this file and to open in the IDE. And this file will be very simple. We just need to write some logic here to produce these groups. I can also get my groups from here, like here. I'm not going to get all, maybe, just to save time, because here it's just I can show you how to be productive here in the editor when you have like multiple lines. And we are going to do this in a second. Just web and mobile data. So have web, so have mobile and data. UI, CSS. Yeah, UI deploy performance test. UI deploy performance. A lot of things to cover here in this channel. We are just starting, guys. And a mix of things. Okay, now we can, I always use the shortcuts. Then I have a shortcut to have the column mode. But I think I can also find here column selection mode. Then you should use this when you want to add to like a lot of lines. And what I want to do here, I want to have like groups, collection, dot insert, and then I can just do this. And let me return here because this is wrong. I want to add the name of this group like this. Let me just review my schema because I'm not sure. Okay, it's just a name. Then, okay, this code is enough for us to add groups. But then maybe I don't want to add these groups all the time because I'm going to call this in the startup and I don't want to load these groups all the time, of course. Otherwise, I'm going to duplicate it. Then I'm going to just do a simple check here. If I find any group, I don't need to put this, but if I find any group, I can just return. Then I'm not going to load my groups. And that's it. Then I can go to my main function here, and maybe I will create a file, I import here for another file that I'm going to call startup server. Then I can, because later I am predicting that we need to add more things here. Then I just have this special folder here called startup and server. And then I can have just, or you can just call server maybe. Oh, no, startup is good. And maybe I can remove this folder and I can call server startup this file. Remember, I always like to have unique names for the files. Then server startup, and then server startup can call load groups. But as we are using Meteor, the best way to do this is to wrap up this in a Meteor startup call. So when Meteor is starting up your app, it's going to call this and not just in the evaluation time. Both are going to work, but this is a little bit more better for a Meteor project. Import Meteor. I also have this live template. I just type em import Meteor. I already mentioned live templates in another video. And that's it. Let me, I think my server is running. No, it's not running. Let me run my server. And we should see nothing happening because we are going to get here and that's going to be 2. And then we are going to return. Oh, I have an error. Or maybe I change some imports or change my idea. Yeah. I need to register my server startup, but I change my idea. Then it's just server startup. That's going to work, but it's not going to insert because, as I was saying, we have already 2 there. Then if you check here, we already have 2 and we still have 2. Then I'm going to remove this. Oh, I need to provide this. Then I need to remove. and now this is empty. That's what you want. I can already go ahead and remove content as well. Okay, and now if you restart the server or if you make any change that you produce a server restart, it's going to insert these groups here. And that is it. You have a lot of groups here. But there is one thing that I'm missing. Like this way, I can't choose the order, right? So maybe I should have something here to control the order. I can maybe do like this. I hate to use let, but in this case, I think it's easier. Then I can just have order plus plus order, or I can start with 0. Then I can put the plus plus here. And again, I can use the column selection mode. Then I can just select this here, like this, or even this. Then I can go here. I am using my keyboard here, shortcut, to go to selection mode. But first it's better to select like all the lines. Then you go to the end of the line, backstick, and then you paste here, and here we go. If you run like this right now, it's not going to do anything because you have this already blocking this execution. Then maybe you should use upsert. But I'm not sure if I like upsert. Then for now, I'm going to remove manually all the time, but later you should have a better way to improve our groups, maybe even create an admin for this. Okay, now I have my groups here, and I can have my order, but my order is not going to be in the database because I need to have here. And you can also use the simple schema integer to have an integer and not a decimal in the database. And let's see what is going to happen. Okay, now we have the order, and the order is exactly the order that you are doing this, you are doing there, like language, and then the second is environment. I think it's the same, right? Okay, now we have a list of groups, and that's good because now in our UI, it's a little bit better. Now it makes sense. We know what we are talking about. But this app is pretty much empty. We don't have any styles here. You just have an app, and then you just have groups. But we don't want that. Then we should add some layers here and to have some styles. And let's just style this a little bit. We can call this maybe our class name. I don't know if I'm going to use a library. Usually I use this library here, Material UI, and it's pretty good. I think it's better to use this here as well, right? Let me install it. Feature, yarn, add, Material UI. And then you can have like some basic elements for your UI, of course. If you go here, you have the components, and you have a lot of components here. I don't like the layout components. I prefer to just use Flexbox, but these other components can be helpful. Maybe even you can use like there is one that's called expansion. Not expansion, collapse. Oh, where is it? There is one that you can just like have this style, then you can open, and then you can close, then you can open, then you can close. But I don't know, I don't remember the exact name. Drawer, stepper, menu, web bar, accordion. Yeah, because we could style our groups like this. I don't know if it's going to scale in a nice way, but the good part about this, you can just click here and you can see how you can do exactly what they are doing in the example. And then you can just copy paste basically this. Let's see how it works. Oh, I didn't check what was here, just the accordion and some text. Okay. Let's do this. And let's paste here for now. Okay, this is a simple accordion. Okay, I don't need this. I also will move this to the top. Okay. This is the style. I will just drag here. And okay, then you have the classes, and then you can return exactly what they are returning there. Okay. Let's see if this is working. Let me start my app again. I'm not using my groups yet. I'm going to use later. Oh, I also need to install the icons. Otherwise, I'm not going to see the icon. I think it's even complaining about this. Yeah. I'm not going to use npm. I'm going to use yarn. Then I can also have these icons. They have like the basic icons from Material UI. If you don't know Material UI is something from Google. I have a few bookmarks here that I can have a few links that are useful, like this one, like the icons, the material design, and then you can research and you can learn like how Google thinks about their project. The idea is try to have like shadows and papers and try to reproduce the word. That's why it's called material. And I have additional icons in this other library here that you can also use if you want. But you have all the documentation here and how you should do whatever you want to do in your app. And then it's good to have a reference when you don't have a designer. For now, we don't have a designer here. And that's it. It's working. Like I have my accordion here. And then what I can do, I can just use my groups component that I had. And that was like just UL. And I can change a little bit to have this style there. Let's just see accordion summary. Okay, this is the loop. Then I can just remove this loop. This disabled is even good because maybe in a specific session, we don't have any content yet. Then you could try to do something. Okay, but this is in the wrong place, right, guys? Then I am going to move this here to my groups. And I'm going to remove this UL because I'm not going to use it. It's going to be a div. WebStorm already renamed it for me here. And then here I can just remove it here, these guys, because I'm going to use all of them again here. I'm just replacing to make sure it's the right one, because maybe sometimes WebStorm imports the wrong one. Okay, then you can have our groups. And then in our groups, each group is going to be an accordion instead of li. Then I'm going to put this here. I know these videos are a little bit boring, but you're just starting. Like, you need to do this boring stuff as well. Then you can start to add some logic later. As it's a loop, it's good to have an ID. And then it's also good to put the name here, group.name. And I think I forgot to get my classes here. I'm not explaining this, like why we are using this, but that's just a way to produce your CSS classes using JSS. Then you are going to code your CSS here and not in the CSS files. And it's very good because Material UI, they provide this theme, and then I can later change all my fonts, all my colors, just change the theme. And then I don't need to change all my components. Of course, if I'm using the right way, getting the data from the theme, then this is the idea. And right now, my group, we don't have a description. Maybe we should have a description, right? To expand more what this group is all about. But let's see if this is working as it is right now. It's probably breaking. Maybe some imports are missing. Oh, let me show the errors. Okay, use style is not defined. Then maybe this one is missing. No, make styles is there. Then use styles is not defined, but it's here. What is going on? Use style is not defined. Oh, sorry. I think it's still in the old. Okay, sorry. My mistake, my bad. Okay, now it should work. No. Class is not defined. Oh my God. Okay, this was from the styles. Now it should be working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, now we have these nice groups here, and you could have like some counts to know like how many topics we have inside it. But I think I'm going to wrap up this video for now. but you learn how to add material UI, and you see that's very simple, just copy and paste. Of course, you want to learn as well. You want to see what are the options that you have here, and then you can also go, this is the demo, but you also have the API. I think it's here. Then in the API, you can always see this table with all the props that are accepted and how you can use it. Like the disable prop, maybe it's a good one that you can disable some groups when you don't have any content there because the user is going to expand and nothing's there. We should also think about to add a description. But for now, I think we are good. We can wrap up this. Then we have like our real groups. If you restart the server, it's not going to add again because you're just adding one time. And that's it. I think I'm going to commit these changes, listing the actual groups using accordion from material UI. Okay, yarn logs updated because I add new dependencies. It's good, always good to check here. That's a good practice that I always do. I do like a code review of myself. Then I can just make sure that I'm not doing something stupid. Usually I open all the files, except if it's a very small change, then of course I don't need to check it. But I usually do this quick code review to make sure that I'm not doing anything crazy here. And that's it. Let's push. And okay. Thank you guys. In the next, we can start to work with like the topics and maybe to have some users, and then the user can select some topics. Let's see how it goes. See you in the next video.